Today I'm going to explain how to build a house in CityEngine for OpenDS. We are somewhere on the planet. This is actually Singapore, and I walked a little bit through this town using Google Street View, and I decided that this house is going to be our example for the day. So first thing we do is we snap this snapshot using a screen snap tool. I'm taking this rectangle here and we are going to save it. Is example. Next we are going to load this example in Photoshop. Where it is, example, here you go. Load it in Photoshop. Where is it? Photoshop. So first thing we do is we do the perspective correction. So we use the perspective cropping tool here. We take, so I'm going to use the front facade here. So I'm going to take this till say here and here. And now let's correct this a little bit. I'm going to make this quick and dirty, but obviously you can also take more time to do this more correct. Yeah, that's going to be good. So now it's straight. So we next are going to like to remove a little bit from here. So in OpenDS, the trees that are standing in front of the facades are not actually too bad, we found, because they make the scene more real. But the trees here on the side, this one, and maybe also this lamppost here is disturbing. So this is going to be removed. Make it larger. I'm using the stamp tool here for that, and make a bigger brush. Yeah, that's going to be good. So as you can see, we have the windows here. So I'm taking the example from above, copying it here, and there you go. Tree removed. Same on the other side. It's very easy. Actually taking this from here because it's a different perspective. So there you go. Tree removed. We can also copy this to have the lower part cleaned a little bit. So yeah, that's good. So the lamppost, we wanted to remove the lamppost as well. So copying this from here, lamppost removed. There you go. Okay, so that's going to be fine. The rest can stay. I'm now improving the colors. I'm improving the contrast, putting it first to 50. Then I'm correcting the dark spots, removing it, dark 50 as well. No, 50 I was going to say. Then it's when you remove the darks, it's a little bit more neutral. But we also found that in the later scene, it's better to have a higher saturation. That's why we increase the saturation. Don't make it too red. That's not going to look good. So a little bit more fresh and more saturation doesn't hurt. Next thing, I'm going to store this example 2. I'm now copying example 2 to CityEngine. Here is Singapore assets, paste. I'm switching to CityEngine. You need to refresh your workspace in order to have it, and then you can open the facade wizard. It's here, like large. Open example 2, and let's go back to the scene for a sec. So this building here is around roughly 30 meters, 30, 35, let's say 40 meters. That's going to be good. So what we do here is we do first the main splits. We are going to find this split here. Oh no, let's start with the horizontal split over here, and then we have the vertical split here, 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 and here. That's going to be enough. It's not going to. We are not going to add this detail over here. That's not necessary. But take care of this little spot here because you don't want this tree to disappear from the front. So we have this one and this one. They're going to be moved to the back with the Z adjustments. Say 2 meters is enough. It's not necessary to be exact here. It's only the only reason why we do this is to add a little bit 3D to the facade. I'm going to store it. It says Gen facade example 2 CGA. That's going to be fine. Going back to my rule editing standard. First I'm going to find a spot for my new house. Here I'll make a rectangular shape. And then I create here, over here in the rule editor, I create an example start rule. How high is that building? What do you think? Well, this is 6 meters, so we have 6, 12, 18, 24. It's 30 meters. So we work with 30 meters. So we extrude 30 meters. Then we can already see how our little house here is coming up. And store it. Here assign Singapore. Select the start rule example. And then we have this 30 meters high building, but of course without the facade. Next thing I'm going to do is importing the facade. I'm importing it into F4 1. How was it called? CityEngine Singapore rules. It was called Gen facade example 2 CGA. Okay. Then we copy paste a little bit from the former rules. We take this this rule over here that splits actually the volume into its sides. We go into example 2. So what we do with the front facade, we use 4_1 facade. Let's see how that came up. Not too bad actually. And then you can see that you have little bit of 3D. Let's edit the scene light. So switch on shadows and occlusion, and then you have your building. You can use the same facade for all sides if you like, or use new angles of that, or new pictures for the side facades. In this case, we decide to not only use the front but also the side, and the rest only the top side is going to be left blank. I'm recalculating that, so regenerating it. So it's not too bad for like 10 minutes work on a Google Street Map based facade. Obviously the quality of these facades are going to be a lot better if you're working with your own photographs. So let's just do a quick check whether this is warped. Let's compare it to the original building. Yes, so it's warped a little bit. So we can stretch now the building, make it higher. Obviously, this building is a little bit higher than I estimated it. Look at the windows are almost rectangular here, and they are not rectangular here. So I would guess that the shape here is smaller. I'm going to scale this down a little bit. Let's see what the effect is. Yes, so I think that's more like the original building. Let's see from this side. I would say that we increase the size a little bit again. Okay, looks good. However, I make this building a little bit higher. It's like 38 meters high, I was going to say. Yeah, so looks good. So ways to improve from here. You need to have better pictures than the one you get from Google Street View. You need to have better numbers. If you want to be very precise with the width and the height of the building, you need the numbers either from laser scans, plans, or whatever. But you can see even without these information, without this information, you can create a decent building for your simulator based in essentially 10 minutes, based on only Google Street View. So if you like, we can grow some trees here, move. Shadows, ambient occlusion. Not exactly bad, I would say. Again, scene light. Here it is. So for a building in the background, or just not so important building, this is going to be more than enough. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.